Chapter 11. Speaking the Languages of Confidence. Dedicate yourself to the good you deserve and desire for yourself. Give yourself peace of mind. You deserve to be happy. You deserve delight. Mark Victor Hansen. Now that we've mastered our internal voices, it's time to turn our attention to our externals, how we project our internal dialogues to the outside world. The vocabulary of confidence. If you listen to other people talking, you will notice that those who are confident use a certain vocabulary, and those lacking in confidence seem to draw their words and phrasing from an entirely different dictionary. Most people don't give a lot of thought to the language they use. As such, people's habitual language patterns reflect back on their thinking, be it confident thinking or lack thereof. Not only does language reflect a person's thinking, but it also reinforces a person's thinking. The key is to use the following information for transforming your everyday vocabulary. When this occurs, you will not only change your thinking, you'll change your life. So, what are these changes? I have assembled two sets of words that you must take into account when speaking. First, there is a set of words that you absolutely need to eliminate from your vocabulary. Then there's a set of words that you need to memorize and integrate into your speech in order to maximize confidence. It is hard to overstate the importance of sending the right signals with your language, but it's easier to learn to do than you may think. Let's get down to it. The confidence killers. First, we'll tackle the set of words that you need to eliminate and completely remove from your vocabulary. If you catch yourself using these words, say, "Hey, wait a minute. I'm no longer shy. There's a better word for that." Don't beat yourself up if you hear yourself using one of these words. Just acknowledge that you used the word in the past and increase your efforts to eliminate it from your vocabulary in the future. Try. The first word is try. Have you ever heard someone try to do something? There's a difference between trying to do something and actually doing something. Quite simply, trying is lying. In Star Wars, Yoda said, "There is no try, only do." Yoda was right on the money. There is no try. If you ask someone to do you a favor and the person says, "I'll try," you can count on him or her not doing the favor for you. Otherwise, the person would say, "I'll do it." The word try communicates a maybe attitude in a world that craves certainty. Instead, use the word do. Say, "I will do it." Eliminate the word try. Don't try to eliminate the word try. Do it. The shy sentence. I'll try to do the laundry tomorrow. The confident sentence. I will do the laundry tomorrow. Hope. Another word that is not for confident people is hope. Now, hope is a nice and pleasant word. However, it announces a lack of action. For example, I hope things get better, or I hope my situation resolves itself. Contrast this with, I'm going to make it happen, or I'm going to make my situation better. Hoping for something to happen is being reactive, whereas taking action and expecting success is proactive. The shy sentence. I hope I can take a trip to Hawaii someday. The confident sentence. I am making plans to take a trip to Hawaii next year. But. But negates every word that precedes it in the sentence. An example is, I want to go to a movie, but I have a lot to do. In this example, it sounds as if the person will not be going to the movie. When someone hears the word but, he or she immediately knows that what was just said should be disregarded. If you want to communicate the same thing without using the word but, substitute the phrase, and yet. The shy sentence. I want to go, but I have something else going on. The confident sentence. I want to go, and yet I have something else going on. The three woulds: would, could, and should. As Dr. Seuss might have said if he were concerned with confidence, here are the three woulds that are no good. As we go through each would, we'll discover how its usage in some places decreases confidence, and we'll learn how to replace them with words that will propel you even further to success. Would. Would is a conditional word. It's not confident. It's not absolute. When I was discussing the notion of writing a book, some people said, yeah, I would write a book too if... and then they'd give some reason that supposedly precluded them from writing a book. Well, would is conditional and presupposes there's something standing in the way of success. It's pointless to use the word would because nothing can stop a confident person from achieving success. Eliminate that word from your vocabulary. The shy sentence. I would talk to that stranger now if only... The confidence sentence. I will talk to that stranger now. Could. If someone says, I could go meet that person, then my question is, what's stopping you? Using the conditional word could implies there's an uncertainty attached to your action. For example, I could go meet that person, or I could go market my business to 10 new people and expand it. Just as we've seen with the word would, could also suggests that there's something preventing you from achieving your goal. Could implies that there's a chance, but the message it sends is don't count on it. Eliminate it from your vocabulary. It's much better to use a more definite phrase, such as I can or I can't. The shy sentence. I could try making a speech in front of my peers. The confident sentence. I can make a speech in front of my peers. Should. Should is the worst of the woulds. Should implies expectations and limited options. Think of the sentence, I should be doing this right now. Well, you should be doing this according to whom? Ask yourself that. Whose expectations? It's all about your own expectations, your own internal frame of reference. After all, you're running the show. You're leading your own life. You're a unique individual in charge of what you're doing. Saying should is like keeping yourself hostage by limiting your choices. If you have a preconceived notion that you should always do a certain thing in a given circumstance, then you're not going to investigate other options because you're just going to do what you should. And that's a limiting perspective because whenever you have fewer choices, you have less control over your life. Confident people don't have that problem, regardless of whether or not the situation dictates they should. The shy sentence. It's late and I should get home now. The confident sentence. It's late and I choose to go home now. The confidence builders. Now that we have talked about the words that we are eliminating from our vocabulary, let's discuss the words that will skyrocket your confidence when you integrate them into your daily thoughts and speech. The underlying principle is definition of purpose. Words that show confidence and let people know what you want. Here are the words and phrases to add to your vocabulary for enhanced confidence. Absolutely. Definitely. Positively, assuredly, without a doubt, of course, certainly, undoubtedly, obviously, guaranteed, naturally, sure. What do all of these words do? They communicate a message. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is the way it is. Now, as you begin to use these words, notice how people respond to you, because they will respond differently. If someone asks, "What do you want to do?" there are a number of responses. Here are two examples. The undecided sentence: "We should do something fun, I hope." The confident sentence: "I absolutely want to see a movie tonight." You will notice the difference between someone who is confident and wants to do something and someone who may want to do something, yet is too shy to say what that might be. The language of motivation. Now let's talk about how to use language to motivate yourself to do what you want. You can take any task or action that you don't particularly care about and crank up your motivation so that you just have to do it. Modal operators. This goes back to our use of language and how it shapes our model of the world. With this technique, we will focus on an aspect of language called modal operators. When you listen to someone's language, and especially his or her use of modal operators, you'll hear so much about how that person moves through the world and the source of his or her motivation. So what are modal operators? They are words like must, have to, need to, will, can, should, would, and so on. For our purposes, they fit into three categories: necessity, possibility, and impossibility. Modal operators of necessity. Modal operators of necessity indicate that something is necessary and that something needs to be done. They are words such as have to, need to, must, mandatory, required. As such, using them in the right places in our language is excellent for motivation. I have to take a break. You need to go do some training. We must work on this project now. It's mandatory that you do your confidence exercises regularly. Modal operators of possibility. Modal operators of possibility are words such as can, could, might, possibly, maybe. These words open up possibilities to us. When we use them correctly in our language, as modal operators, not as one of the dreaded ouds, they imply choice. We have so many options we can pursue. I could make it at 9:30 p.m. sharp, easy. Perhaps we might consider the new developments. Modal operators of impossibility. Then we have the modal operators of impossibility. These are words that imply that we simply cannot do something. Cannot is just one of those words. Cannot, will not, must not. Notice how modal operators of impossibility close off options that may have been available to us. I'll never go back to that old way of being. You must not neglect to follow these instructions carefully. I can't go a day without doing my unstoppable confidence exercises. How to easily motivate yourself. So, how do we use the knowledge of these modal operators to crank up our motivation? We do this by simply chaining them together. I want you to follow along in this example. We will begin by saying a set of phrases. Each of them will differ in just a few subtle but powerful ways. Now, for the purposes of this exercise, for you to fully experience the impact of this technique, I want you to say each of the phrases out loud, confidently and powerfully. Take on a confident physiology, sit up straight, and say these phrases with an authoritative tone of voice. We will begin by thinking for a moment about taking tomorrow off from work. Or if it's a weekend as you listen to this, taking off the upcoming Monday. Notice what it's like. Notice how you feel as you think about this now. Your motivation, your beliefs about whether or not you can do this, will be influenced by how you say the words in the exercise to yourself. Now, I want you to say to yourself, I can't take tomorrow off. And notice how you feel about taking the day off tomorrow. Can't is a modal operator of impossibility in the present tense. Now say, I couldn't take tomorrow off. Notice how using a modal operator of impossibility closes off that option. Then say the following sentence. I can't take tomorrow off. As you fully assume confident physiology, say aloud, I couldn't take tomorrow off. While you do this, notice how that feels to you internally. Each time we exchange one of these modal operators for the other, the feeling will change. Next, say aloud, I could take tomorrow off. Using the word could will alter your experience as you find that saying it produces a different feeling. You might compare and contrast the differences between all of these sentences and think about how one word can so drastically alter the meaning and feeling of the sentence. Could shifts your thinking from that of impossibility into thinking that something is possible, albeit with conditions attached. To paraphrase the sentence, you could take tomorrow off if some condition were met. The conditional aspect is implied through the usage of the word could, as I explained earlier. Now say the same sentence, replacing could with can. I can take the day off tomorrow. Your thinking has been shifted from the possibility of taking tomorrow off if some condition were met to a very real possibility in your mind that you, in fact, can take tomorrow off if you choose. To amplify this possibility, next replace the modal operator in the sentence with may. Say to yourself out loud, I may take tomorrow off. May presupposes that you may or may not take the day off. May implies not only the fact that you can do something, but suggests that you are considering whether or not to do it. We've now gone from absolute impossibility to serious consideration regarding taking the day off. Now use the next modal operator, I should take the day off tomorrow. Next, say to yourself out loud, I shall take the day off tomorrow. This exercise has taken you from conditional to probable to almost certain. You're finally making a commitment to yourself to take the day off tomorrow because you deserve it. After all, don't you? Next, tell yourself, I have to take the day off tomorrow. Really say it like your sanity depends on it, and notice how much more powerful the expression becomes. When you say, I have to take the day off tomorrow, you can feel it course through every part of your body. Next say, I need to take the day off tomorrow. You need to. Taking a day off has gone from being a requirement to a necessity, a fundamental need. Notice how these tiny differences increase your motivation that much more. Finally, use the modal operator we've all been waiting for. I will take the day off tomorrow. Say it authoritatively and powerfully. Notice how committed you are to taking the day off tomorrow. Look at how much your motivation has changed just because you changed each word on the continuum of motivation. You've come from a place where it was absolutely impossible to take the day off to being committed to taking the day off tomorrow. This example demonstrates the power of these words and how people are using these words to either limit themselves, modal operators of impossibility, to motivate themselves, modal operators of necessity, or to empower themselves with more options, modal operators of possibility. Chapter 12. The body language of confidence. If we are to have magical bodies, we must have magical minds. Dr. Wayne Dyer. Body language is just as important as verbal language. Your internal images, sounds, and emotions affect your physiology, and vice versa. Confident body language versus shy body language. A quick lesson. Confident and shy body language differ greatly and are rarely mistaken for each other. By realizing the difference, you can be sure to maintain confident body language as you build unstoppable confidence. Here are some examples of shy body language. Hanging your head as if ashamed of yourself. Slumping your shoulders forward. Drooping your spine instead of standing up straight. Looking down at the ground. Having confident body language is just as easy to spot, but it sends a much better message. Here are some examples of confident body language. Keeping your head held high. Having your shoulders thrust back. Keeping your abdominal muscles tucked in. Standing up tall and proud. Even if you don't feel confident at any given moment, you can project confidence through your words, gestures, and body language. Avoid wimpy gestures. Some people resort to blaming and placating in stressful situations. Rather than communicating their willingness to find a way out of a situation, they become panicked and are only concerned with who's at fault. These people clearly lack confidence. If they would alter their behavior by maintaining powerfully confident physiology, their internal states would match that of a calm, cool, and collected person. Maintaining composure is much more resourceful and effective for solving a problem than blaming and placating ever could be. Here are some methods for how to move your body to stay confident. Never use placating gestures. Confident people never make placating gestures. These gestures convey that you are inferior or submitting to another person. A classic placating gesture is when someone shrugs her shoulders with palms facing upward, as if pleading, "I didn't do it." This conveys a need to absolve oneself of responsibility for a situation. In order to have unstoppable confidence, you must avoid these gestures at all times. Another placating gesture is the shrug, which means that someone doesn't really know what's happening, or perhaps doesn't even care. It does not make any sense to convey that you don't know or care about a situation. If you don't know about something, simply admit as much in a matter-of-fact way. People who lack confidence often give an exaggerated response, announcing in an annoyed tone that they have no clue. A lot of times, you can find the answer to problems if you stop for a moment and think about potential solutions, instead of giving up so easily and pleading ignorance. Henry Ford said, "Thinking is the hardest activity there is to do. That is why so few people engage in it." People who are confident may not necessarily have the answer, yet they know they have all the resources to find the answer. When I ask someone a question and the immediate response is, "I don't know," it indicates to me that this person is not even willing to make an educated guess or take the initiative to find out the answer. A better response when you genuinely don't know is to say, "I'm not sure yet." This indicates the truth about your uncertainty and presupposes that you will probably be sure sometime in the future, as indicated by the word yet. Never use blaming gestures. The opposite of placating is blaming. Unstoppably confident people never do this. Blaming takes place when you are accusing someone else in your stead. The blaming frame of mind is a very negative frame, and it does not empower you at all. The classic gesture associated with blaming other people is pointing fingers. And as some people learn when they're young, when your pointer finger is aimed at someone else, there are 3 other fingers pointing right back at you. Too many people blame, and it's not useful. Confident people come from a place of wanting to find solutions. They look for options on how to solve problems and create solutions. They move through the world calm, cool, and unperturbed by outside events. They manage their emotions rather than letting their emotions manage them. Avoiding both blaming and placating gestures will help you be who you are, an unstoppably confident person who solves problems and gets the job at hand done efficiently. Who or what caused the situation is irrelevant. The main idea is to solve it and prevent it from occurring again in the future. Practice unstoppable body language. If you want to feel like you are the most charismatic person around, project good thoughts outward. They will manifest themselves in your body language. Walk confidently. Confident people have a certain walk. When they enter a room, it seems as though they belong there, or even as though they own the place. As you practice walking confidently, remember that the situation is whatever you make it. Keep your head held high, your shoulders back, your tummy tucked in, and move through the world with deliberate steps. Feel free to walk at your own pace instead of adopting the speed everyone else is using. Avoid shuffling your feet or looking down at the ground. You'll notice a difference as you practice your confident body language and pay attention to the way you walk. Steeple your hands for confidence. Steepling is a gesture that conveys confidence. Press your fingertips together while keeping your palms separate, touching each of your fingertips to the fingertip on the opposite hand. Many unstoppably confident people steeple their hands to exude confidence. In fact, so many confident people do it that the gesture is now associated with confidence. Get in the habit of steepling your hands when you want to convey confidence to others. The wonder of smiling. If you want more confidence, all you have to do is smile. Practice smiling with anyone you see, anywhere you go. Do it when you're at work, at home, or in the store. No matter where you are, give someone the gift of a smile. As you make it a habit to smile, practice making small talk with people. You'll soon discover your conversations flowing with greater ease than ever before. Ask people how they're doing. Ask about their weekends. Find out what they want in life. People love to talk about themselves, and it feels good to really listen intently to someone else. Even for me, at the depths of my shyness, smiling was a very effective technique. Being a naturally happy guy, I smiled often at people just because the mood struck me. What I discovered is that when I smiled at people, they would naturally smile back. In fact, I'd even make a game out of it. How many people could I get to smile? Sometimes when someone didn't respond to my smile as I approached, I'd keep broadening my smile until the person finally broke out of his or her stoic facial expression and smiled back. Smiling is disarming. It puts other people at ease. Since giving a smile is absolutely free and always feels good to either give or receive, you should smile as often as possible. The sound of confidence. Another key to confident communication is having excellent vocal tonality. Vocal tonality is the pitch at which you speak. If your voice is nasal, for example, it will be irritating. Irritating other people is certainly not good when your goal is to project a confident image while communicating with them. You want tonality that resonates within other people and causes them to feel good. Most people aren't even aware of it, but your vocal tonality has an effect on all people at an unconscious level. Speaking with bad tonality is like running fingernails down a chalkboard. Personally, I'd rather listen to a dental drill than listen to someone drone on with nasal tonality. Tonality exercise. The good news is that people can improve their tonality through repeated practice. In this exercise, you will place your hands on a certain body part and place your attention there while speaking. As a result, you will notice a shift in tonality, and by the end of the exercise, you'll have a deep, resonant tonality. Place your hands on your nose and say, "This is my nose." The tonality should be nasal now and probably very irritating. Move your hands down to your mouth now and say, "This is my mouth." As you do this, listen for the difference in your tonality already. Next, place your hands on your throat as you say, "This is my throat." Hear the change in your tonality yet? Place your hands on your upper chest and declare, "This is my chest." Notice your tonality becoming more resonant? Finally, place your hands on your abdomen and say, "This is my abdomen. When I talk like this, I get a deep, rich tonality that people enjoy." Where your attention goes, the energy flows. And that is the reason why your tonality gets better when you concentrate on your abdominal area. If you want to listen to and model your tonality after someone, turn on the radio and really concentrate on how the disc jockeys use their voices. You'll never find a disc jockey with a nasal voice, for reasons mentioned before. The look of confidence. Confident people are able to look others straight in the eye and tell it like it is. By looking someone in the eye, you will be perceived as being more sincere, genuine, and honest, no matter what you are saying, than if you are shifty-eyed or avoiding eye contact. People who lack confidence tend not to look others directly in the eye. This elicits suspicion from the person with whom the non-confident person is interacting, because most people, when they are telling the truth, look others directly in the eye. If you have nothing to hide, focus your attention on looking people in the eye. You can even practice feeling good while you do it. If you have a tendency right now to avoid eye contact, that's just fine. Call it a starting point. After you do the following exercise, you will discover how easily and naturally you can do it. By the end of this exercise, you will have formed the beginning of a habit. The difference between confident people and shy people, in summary, is that confident people have habits that cause them to behave confidently. Conversely, shy people have habits that cause them to act shy. Eye contact exercise. This exercise is designed to give you the ability to be present with someone and look at that person straight in the eye, giving you more confidence. You'll need a partner for this exercise. A great partner would be a supportive friend, spouse, or relative. Listen through all of the directions first, and then begin. By doing this exercise, you'll naturally find yourself breaking through limits as your confidence rises to unprecedented levels. Set an outcome for what you want to get out of this exercise. One good outcome is to be able to look people in the eye anytime, tell them anything you choose, and feel at ease while you're doing it. Get a timer that will let you know when 5 minutes is up. What you're going to do is sit across from your partner in complete silence and be present with him or her. All you have to do is be silent and look the person straight in the eye. Beware, this is harder than it sounds. As you do this exercise, you may have certain urges to laugh or look away. That only means that you now have an opportunity to break through previously held limits. Stay with the exercise and continue to look your partner in the eye. Meanwhile, your partner will be doing the same with you. If you do laugh or glance away, your partner should gently say, "Stop. Be present. Start again." Similarly, if your partner laughs or glances away, give him or her the same instruction. Continue on like this for the entire 5 minutes. Having this skill means that you can confront any person and be there for him or her as a good listener. Your direct eye contact with another person means you're neither superior nor inferior. You are merely two equals communicating on level ground. Do this exercise with your partner as many times as you feel you need to in order to be able to look at someone. Pretty soon, what you'll discover is that it is really very easy to do so. You will no longer be intimidated by direct eye contact. The real world is the true test to gauge how far you've come. After doing the exercise, practice it in the real world and notice how easily you do it. How surprised will you be when you find yourself doing it automatically? Others will react positively to your new confidence. This eye contact that you've learned is not designed to intimidate, but to foster better communication through honesty and openness. It will also let other people know that you have the look of confidence. Part 4. Becoming Unstoppable. Chapter 13. 21 Explosive Techniques to Supercharge Your Confidence. First comes thought, then organization of that thought into ideas and plans, then transformation of those plans into reality. The beginning, as you will observe, is in your imagination. Napoleon Hill. The techniques, exercises, and strategies in this chapter will speed you on your way to unstoppable confidence. Practice them regularly and watch your confidence soar. Technique 1. The instant shift. One of the major steps in gaining more confidence is being aware of when you're lacking confidence. The reason for this is that you have to be aware of something before you can change it. When you're aware that you're not being confident, you can change it. It will no longer be a given that you're shy or tentative or whatever label you previously used to describe yourself. As you become conscious of what your mental process is with respect to confidence, pay particular attention to your internal voice. If you have a limiting, negative voice nagging at you, I'm sure you naturally realize how that can stop you dead in your tracks when you really want to go for it. While you're paying attention to your internal voice, notice what sorts of images are in your mind. What you hear and see internally impacts how you feel, and the way you feel either frees you to take action or holds you back. When I was locked in my dungeon of shyness, anytime I wanted to go out and meet a woman, I would project a big picture of women rejecting me and laughing at me before I even said hello. With these images in my mind, I was completely paralyzed with fear and took no action. Instead, I watched opportunity pass me by, and I regretted it every time. If you want excellent feelings, you have to see and hear excellent things, which is easy because you are in control of your own mental processes. Whenever you're acting shy, you must simply stop and realize that it's a process and that you can change it. If you find yourself acting in a tentative or shy way, here are some NLP techniques you can try. Interrupt the process. Imagine a police officer springing up inside your mind, holding a red stop sign. Imagine that he shouts out in an authoritative tone as loud as he can, "Stop!" When you hold this image in your mind, you'll find yourself immediately stopping the process of feeling that you lack confidence. Shift your state. Once you stop the process, you can change directions and go in any direction you want. For our purposes, you should immediately shift your physical state to one that exudes confidence. Employ excellent physiology and posture. Head up, shoulders back, stomach tucked in. Put that smile on your face and feel good. Just like that, if your body is in a state of confidence, it's easy for you to mentally follow suit. The instant shift. 1. Recognize your shy or unconfident action. 2. Interrupt the process. 3. Shift your physical state to a confident posture. 4. Let your mind follow suit. Technique 2. Rehearse confidence. Once you interrupt a negative mental process, you can then consciously choose the emotional state you want to experience. You won't be merely acting out of habit. You'll be acting out of a conscious choice, and that is very powerful. With this technique, you can program yourself to have unstoppable confidence whenever you need it. The key is that what you rehearse is what you get. A friend of mine who is into martial arts always reminds me to train the way you fight, because you will fight the way you train. This holds true for being confident as well. By rehearsing confidence in your mind, you will have it when you need it. For you to have unstoppable confidence, you need to mentally rehearse it in the present. This means we are going to visualize what we desire. Confidence. We will watch ourselves walking, talking, and moving confidently. We will see ourselves doing things that before we did not even realize were possible. If it's difficult to do this at first, don't worry. Visualizing is a skill like any other, and you will get better at it with practice. If you think you have difficulty visualizing, pretend it's easy for you. One way to deal with anything is to fake it until you make it. Pretend that you can visualize, and as you do that, you will develop such skill in visualizing that pretty soon you'll forget that you're just pretending, and you will be a great visualizer. Now that you're visualizing, focus on the image of yourself behaving confidently, as projected on your mental movie screen. Notice how you exude confidence from every fiber of your being, and how others can sense it coming from you. As you see yourself behaving confidently, listen to what you hear as you fully experience that ultimate state of confidence within. To amplify your confident state, make the picture bigger, brighter, and closer. Crank the sound way up in your mind so that you can feel the confidence coursing throughout your entire being. Let the bass resonate all through your body. When you make these adjustments to your experience, notice how much more powerful and confident you become. Do this exercise as many times as it takes to thoroughly feel the confidence inside you. How will you know when you've done it enough? The answer is that by looking at the mental image of your confident self, you'll automatically feel the confidence. That is how you know you have successfully completed this exercise. Your unconscious mind does not understand the difference between a scenario that is genuinely real and a scenario that is vividly imagined. For that reason, vividly imagining confidence in your future means you are literally programming yourself to have that confidence when you need it. Set a trigger for the confidence you've rehearsed. Here is how to set yourself up to have confidence anytime. 1. Close your eyes. 2. Watch yourself on your mental movie screen being confident. 3. Enhance the visual and sound qualities of the movie. 4. Jump into your on-screen body and see through your own eyes, hear what you hear, and feel that total confidence. 5. Hold your thumb and first finger together as you experience confidence. 6. The more you feel confident, the harder you press your thumb and first finger together. 7. After 5 seconds, separate your thumb and first finger and open your eyes. 8. Repeat the first 7 steps, but watch a different confidence scenario. By doing this, you will have programmed your mind to respond to the feeling of your thumb and forefinger pressed together as a confidence trigger. Now that you've rehearsed it, whenever you need confidence, you can just close your eyes and press your thumb and forefinger together long enough to let the feeling you've triggered come flooding through you. Rehearse confidence. 1. Focus on an image of you acting confidently, as on a movie screen. 2. Listen to yourself speaking confidently. 3. View the picture in a close-up and turn up the volume. 4. Feel the confidence that you project on screen. Technique 3. Program confidence. You and I have all the resources we could ever need to be totally successful and unstoppably confident. Many people discount how resourceful they could potentially be. To have unstoppable confidence in the future, the key is to be able to summon your confidence resources at will to get the results you want. You did it successfully in the past, which means you can do it successfully anytime. It is only a matter of practice before you have that confidence whenever you choose to switch it on. Remember a time when you were unstoppably confident in the past. Become aware of what specifically you see, hear, and feel inside you as you re-experience what it's like to be completely confident. There is a structure to your confidence experience in the same way that there is a structure to a building. There are certain qualities that you see, hear, and feel in a building that are specific to that building. Similarly, there are certain things you see, hear, and feel only when you are in a confident state. While you relive a past time when you were confident, ask yourself the following questions to become aware of the visual qualities of confidence. What size is what you see? Do you see a picture or a movie? Is it three-dimensional? How clear or fuzzy is it? How bright is it? How close is it? Is it in color or in black and white? Ask yourself the following questions to become aware of the auditory qualities confidence has for you. What do you hear? How loud is it? What is the tempo? What is the pitch? What direction does the sound come from? Ask yourself the following questions to become aware of the sensory qualities of confidence. Where does the feeling begin in your body? How intense is the feeling? What direction does the feeling come from? How long does the feeling last? By altering the visual, auditory, and sensory qualities of confidence, you can actually amplify your confident state. Practice playing around with all of these different qualities and notice the resulting effects on your confident state. This means you can build an even more confident state once you find the qualities that work best for you. As you relive your past confident experience and become aware of all the visual, auditory, and sensory qualities associated with that experience, realize that you can use these same qualities to program yourself to have unlimited confidence in the future. The way to do this is by imagining situations in the future where you will need unstoppable confidence, and imagining your future confident self, adjusting what you see, hear, and feel to match your past experience of confidence. You are literally programming your mind to have unstoppable confidence in the future. When the moment arrives, your mind will act as if you've already experienced it before and give you unlimited confidence. As I've said, the mind does not make a distinction between what is real and what has been vividly imagined. Real-time scans of the brain reveal that whether you take a physical action or simply vividly imagine doing it, the same areas of your brain are activated. You can take advantage of this by programming your mind in advance. Program confidence. 1. Relive a past experience in which you felt confident. 2. Notice all the visual, auditory, and sensory qualities associated with that experience. 3. Imagine a situation in the future where you will need confidence. 4. Imagine yourself adjusting what you see, hear, and feel to match your past experience of confidence. Technique 4. Anchoring. Many who have studied psychology will be aware of the groundbreaking experiments conducted by the animal behaviorist Ivan Pavlov to determine the power of stimulus-response conditioning. After noticing that dogs salivate when they eat, he paired a unique stimulus, the shining of a light, with the presentation of the dog's meal. Pavlov would turn on the light immediately before giving the dog food. After several rounds of this, the dog would salivate even when the light was turned on, but no food was presented. Prior to this pairing, shining the light had no effect on the dog's salivation, but after the stimulus, the light, had been paired with the response, salivation, the dog would reliably salivate when a light was shown. The phenomenon of stimulus-response conditioning has come to be known in many circles as anchoring. An anchor is a stimulus that triggers a mental state. It has been applied to phobia treatment, motivation, and other areas of personal development. The beauty of anchoring is that it can be very easy to do for yourself. Properties of good anchors are that they 1. Elicit a strong emotional state. 2. Must be unique. 3. Must be repeatable. Now, it's all very well to work yourself into an unstoppably confident state manually when you have the time. But what about when you'd like to get into that state instantly? This is where anchoring comes in. When you get yourself into the state of being confident, motivated, and strong, you can easily pair that state with a stimulus of your own. Many people like to use music. If you want to do this, pick a piece of music that matches and maybe even evokes the state you want to anchor, such as Eye of the Tiger or the Chariots of Fire theme. Pick out one of your favorite confidence techniques and do it along with the music. Do this over and over again, and you will find that just listening to that music immediately plunges you into that state. You can even anchor states with internal stimuli. Any image that automatically puts you into a certain state is already an anchor. For some people, just thinking about the smiling face of their spouse puts them in a romantic state. Thinking about a happy baby is enough to make many people melt with tenderness. All of these mental techniques are designed for tapping into your natural power to activate the emotional circuitry of your brain and body to produce a confident state. Once you have that state, you can pair it with outside stimuli like music or pictures, or you can associate it with internal stimuli like remembered images, sounds, or feelings. The following is a great internal anchor of mine that I want to pass on. After you imagine it a few times, you'll naturally associate what you see and hear inside your mind with a powerfully confident state. Picture a jet black puma at the top of a glorious canyon that spans miles across. The puma radiates intensity, its back is arched, and it's poised to pounce on its unsuspecting prey below. The prey does not even realize what will transpire as the puma knowingly licks its sharp teeth. As you watch this scene, if you will, step into the puma's body and become the puma. See through the puma's eyes, hear what the puma hears, and feel that unstoppably confident state the puma has as you become completely aware of just how easily you are going to devour your prey, accomplish your goal. To even more fully experience this confident state, let loose with a growl that will rival any puma alive. Doing this will help you associate this powerful state with the sound of the growl. After you do this exercise, you will be able to simply growl internally and immediately go back into a state of unstoppable confidence. All you will ever need to do to get there again is stop for a moment, close your eyes, growl inside your mind, and become the puma. Anchoring. 1. Practice a favorite confidence-generating exercise. 2. While doing so, listen to a piece of music that makes you feel confident, or imagine an image that makes you feel good about yourself. 3. When you want to recreate the confident feeling, internally hear that music or see that image. Technique 5. Circle of Confidence. The next technique is an advanced form of anchoring called the Circle of Confidence. Instead of anchoring something to a location on your body or to an internal stimulus, this technique anchors confidence to a spot on the ground. In doing so, you will physically step into unstoppable confidence whenever you need it. There have been times in your past when you were confident. In the future, you will be confident again. The key is to be able to summon that feeling at will. This technique allows you to invoke a state of confidence whenever you want. To form your circle of confidence, imagine a circular location on the floor. Before you step into the circle, notice its exact dimensions and picture it either with colors or transparent, if you will. When you physically step into the circle, you will move back in time to a moment in which you had complete confidence. Pick an experience of ultimate confidence. While you are standing in your circle, fully relive that instance of confidence. See what you saw at the time, hear what you heard, and allow yourself to feel the unstoppable confidence of that experience. Inside the circle and feeling confident, adjust your body language to match your confident state. Keep this confident state with you as you walk around outside the circle. If you have enough confidence to meet your outcome, you are done with the exercise. If you need more, go back into your circle and relive a different, equally powerful, confident experience. Continue stacking up your confidence until you have all you need. Regardless of wherever you are, you can use your circle of confidence to instantly gain more confidence. Exaggerate your strong, powerful physiology as you train your body how to stand and move. Pretty soon, you will find yourself naturally standing confidently as a habit. Circle of Confidence. 1. Imagine a circle on the ground. 2. Remember a situation in which you felt confident. 3. Relive that experience as you step into the circle. 4. Adopt a confident posture. 5. Step outside the circle and continue to walk and act confidently. Technique 6. Mirror affirmations. Typically, when people do affirmations, they repeat them endlessly in hopes that they will work. Doing so is somewhat effective, but it can be made much more effective with some simple modifications. This technique will supercharge the efficacy of the affirmations. Instead of using statements beginning with I, you will use statements beginning with you. These statements are more powerful because they allow your conscious mind to tell you, your unconscious mind, specifically what you want and how to behave. Get in front of a mirror. Stand with confident physiology and project your intention for these affirmations to change your life. The larger the mirror, the better it is, because you can see more of yourself. With your shoulders back, your head held high, and your stomach sucked in, look yourself squarely in the eye and say the following affirmations. You are completely powerful. You are unstoppably confident. You are becoming more and more confident each and every day. Nothing can stop you. You go for what you want and you get it. Repeat these affirmations to yourself in the mirror until you can totally feel them in your body. Perhaps you'll see yourself a bit differently, as if you already noticed yourself having more confidence. Or maybe you'll hear your inner voice speaking forcefully with absolute confidence from within. Do this daily as part of your confidence-building regimen, and I can guarantee you that you will have unstoppable confidence in little time. Mirror affirmations. 1. Stand in front of the mirror. 2. Adopt confident physiology. Shoulders back, head up, stomach tucked in. 3. Deliver affirmations to yourself in the mirror using you instead of I statements. Technique 7. Future success now. If you were to taste your future success and feel what it would be like to achieve your goals now, wouldn't you feel tremendously more motivated to go for it right now? This future success now technique does exactly that. It brings all the future feelings of success into your heart, mind, and soul right now. You will experience such an overwhelming sense of success that you will surrender to your passion and go for it. Any fears you might have had may still be present, but with the desire for success dominating all other emotions, you will feel the need to take action and fulfill your goals. In this exercise, the outcome you will want to set is to increase your confidence. This means saying either aloud or inside your mind, I'm doing this exercise to increase my confidence and feel more passion, which will naturally cause me to go after my goals and make my dreams a reality. Are you ready to feel your future success? Close your eyes and picture your mental movie screen. See yourself at the point where you are about to reach the pinnacle of your success. While you are watching yourself, make sure that you see yourself in color on a big, bright, and close-up picture. Fill your mind with stereo surround sound and turn the volume up all the way. Just before you reach the pivotal point where all your success is yours, stop the movie you're watching. Ask yourself some questions to clarify why exactly you are going after this success. What is important to you about this success? What's important to you about getting this pleasure? What's important to you about that? Ultimately, what does having this success do for you? Now restart the movie and witness yourself achieving your goal and getting all the massive success and pleasure you deserve that comes with it. Right as you see yourself on your mental screen fulfilling your goal and experiencing that wonderful feeling of victory, jump into your on-screen body. See through your own eyes as if you were there now, because in your mind, you are. Hear the sounds of success. Feel what success is like in every fiber of your being. As the moment comes to a climax, I want you to take all these wonderful feelings and wrap them up. Take those unlimited feelings with you as you jump out of the mental screen back into your physical body, allowing all those magnificent feelings to ebb and flow. You've just smelled the sweet scent of your future success. You've tasted the victory. You realize that glory is yours for the taking. It's up to you to take action now and claim what is rightfully yours. As you complete this exercise, write down 5 immediate actions you will take that will bring you one step closer to achieving that success that you deserve. Future success now. 1. On your mental screen, play a movie of you succeeding massively. 2. Just at the point when you are about to get to the peak of your success in the movie, temporarily hit pause. 3. Ask yourself, what's important about this success? What will having this success do? 4. Jump into the movie as you begin playing it again. Soak up the unlimited, massive success you know you deserve. 5. When the movie is done, take all of these wonderful feelings back with you and open your eyes. 6. Write down 5 immediate actions you will take that will bring you one step closer to achieving your goals. Technique 8. Put your life in perspective. Consider whatever appears overwhelming to you now. By the end of the exercise, you will think about it completely differently and have much more confidence about what you're going to do. Picture a line representing your lifetime. Your past is off to the left, your present is in the center, and your future is off to the right. Now, place whatever is bothering you on the timeline and visualize it as a small dot. In your mind, take a step back so you can see a larger portion of your entire timeline instead of just the present. Notice how this puts that minor nuisance into a different perspective. Now, mentally step back even further and notice all of your past and all of your future at once, and recognize just how small and insignificant this dot representing your current problem is. When you keep things in perspective, it's really difficult to waste valuable time and energy on trivial things. The trouble begins when people do not keep the big picture in sight and magnify some issue to be larger than it really is. Put your life in perspective. 1. Visualize your life as a timeline. 2. Picture whatever is overwhelming you as a point on that timeline. 3. Mentally step back to see that dot in perspective. Technique 9. Avoid the future you don't want. As we saw earlier, people are motivated either by moving toward pleasure or by moving away from pain. If we were bunny rabbits, it would be the equivalent of us moving toward carrots or away from people's boots. This next technique will work best for people who run away from the boots, so to speak, because it amplifies the pain of not going after your dreams to the point where it will seem easier to just do it. To do this exercise, visualize the timeline from Technique 8. Close your eyes and imagine floating above the timeline, drifting forward far into your future. Continue floating forward in time until you get to the point when you are older and most of your opportunities have passed you by. As you get to that point, see yourself on your mental movie screen, walking around and feeling miserable. In doing this, you might realize that you are looking at a person who has lived a life unfulfilled. Tune into the sounds that are coming from that older person who had so much potential, yet somehow failed to take action and live his or her dreams. Just as the feeling of disappointment rises to an extreme and your future self appears to realize that his or her life has not been invested wisely, jump right into that older person's body and see what that experience is like. Feel how awful it is to lead a life unfulfilled. It's really quite tragic, isn't it? When you fully experience that feeling of deep regret, all the pain, disappointment, and frustration that you will feel if you don't go after your dreams by immediately taking action, jump back into your physical body. If you don't take action now to go after your dreams, this is how you will feel when you get older. Since you've experienced the pain that will happen if you don't go after it right now, are you aware of how much more motivated you are to avoid that feeling and live your dreams? If you hesitate in the future, call up that horrible feeling from this experience and allow that to propel you to take action. To break out of the negative state of mind induced by this exercise, use one of the previous visualization techniques to see the wonderful future you will have when you use your confidence resources to get the future you want. Avoid the future you don't want. 1. Visualize the timeline from Technique 8. 2. See yourself further down the timeline, with most of your opportunities passed over. 3. Imagine your response, physically, audibly, emotionally, to an unfulfilled life. 4. Come back to your present self and summon those feelings of disappointment and rage when you need motivation. Technique 10. Build an enriched past. Oftentimes, a lack of confidence when facing a new experience stems from not having done it before. In order to get good at doing something, usually you have to do it poorly at first. But when that happens, some people equate the poor performance with failure and become anxious. Understand that we don't have to do everything perfectly from the start. Having said that, though, how much more confident would you feel if you knew that you had done something many times before? I'm willing to bet you would be tremendously more confident. This next technique builds memories from your past that feature you succeeding wildly at whatever it is you're about to do. You may or may not have heard of false memory syndrome. False memory syndrome occurs when someone gets someone else to create memories of events that didn't really happen. However, the false memories are so vividly imagined that they seem real to the person in whom they are implanted, and consequently, the person acts as if they are. In situations like this, the memories are usually disempowering. What if we were to create false memories of ourselves having massive success at what we're really about to do for the first time? How much more confidence will you have when you do this? Build into your past as many successes as you find necessary. You will do this by visualizing success at what you're about to do and imagining that it happened in the past. As you create your past successes, really intensify the experience so that you catch the feeling of confidence that you need. When I started out in public speaking, I had no experience at all. Since I needed to rapidly gain experience to be credible, I went back into my past and created an entire series of memories. Even though I consciously knew they were false memories, they were so vividly imagined that my unconscious mind knew no difference, which consequently allowed me to behave as if I had already been speaking a lot. I imagined that I had an entire history of making wonderful speeches, motivating audiences, and receiving standing ovations for my abilities. To go one step further, I imagined people taking my message to heart, acting on it, and transforming their lives. By creating all these memories, by the time I got up to actually speak for the first time, it was delightfully simple, and I radiated confidence from the beginning. Anyone can use these techniques to better himself or herself. It's just a matter of knowing the techniques and applying them to your life. Build an enriched past. 1. See yourself in your past, on your mental movie screen, massively succeeding at whatever you are actually about to do for the first time. 2. Crank up all the visual and sound qualities to make the new memory really intense. 3. Do this 10 times to create 10 different positive memories of your success. Technique 11. Correct past mistakes. This technique goes back into the past and implants new memories in a similar fashion to the exercise in Technique 10. Only this time, instead of giving yourself a history, you will be rewriting your history. Go back to a time when you really blew it. Perhaps something you were expected to accomplish was not the smashing success you intended it to be. Close your eyes and watch yourself on the mental movie screen as you are just about to make the mistake or screw things up. Just prior to the instant in time when you're about to start deviating from your success path and start making mistakes, stop the movie. We stop the movie now because we don't want you rehearsing the negative incident, for that only reinforces it as a way of behaving. While the movie is stopped, think about how the situation ideally would have turned out if you could give it any ending. Restart the movie and replace the old ending with the ideal ending. See, hear, and feel yourself succeeding in the way you deserve. After you've watched the movie from start to finish from a third-person point of view, jump into your on-screen body and run the movie from start to finish with the new ideal ending as you see, hear, and feel that massive success that is yours. Now, run the entire movie from start to finish 10 times. This will recode the past incident as a success in your mind. Furthermore, rehearsing and reinforcing success teaches your mind to create success in the future. As you look back on your past, you'll notice things feel different. Your past has been enriched, and you'll discover yourself moving through the world more resourcefully. One neat thing about this technique is its versatility. You can correct any part of your past in whatever way you want. Correct past mistakes. 1. Watch yourself in the past on your mental movie screen, right up to the point just before you made a mistake. 2. At that point, stop the movie and think about what the ideal ending would be. 3. Finish the movie with the ideal solution, you behaving resourcefully and getting your outcome. 4. Run the movie from start to finish with the new ending, feeling what it is like to get your outcome. 5. Jump into your on-screen body and run the movie of success 10 times to lock it in. Technique 12. The domino effect. As you recall from earlier in the book, beliefs come in two different forms, causality and meaning. X causes Y, or X means Y. Understanding how beliefs are structured means we can consciously choose those beliefs that are most empowering to us. For example, if someone believes public speaking means it's time to be fearful and lack confidence, then obviously this belief will be made manifest in that person's behavior as he or she gets nervous before making a speech. It's necessary to understand how beliefs are formed to use this next technique. Think of something that is so far outside your comfort zone that you would be absolutely amazed, surprised, and delighted if you actually did it. In thinking about this, keep in mind that it should be something that is feasible and that you could immediately do should you make that decision to take action. Become aware of what specifically you would see, hear, and feel when doing it. Now, ponder what sort of confidence it would take for you to do this thing that you are so afraid of. Once you've thought of something completely outside your comfort zone, you will naturally realize that if you were to actually do this, you could do anything you wanted in the world. After all, if you can step so far outside your comfort zone, you can continue to expand even further outside it, can't you? To make this exercise really work, lock in the belief that doing whatever it is you are thinking of right now that you are afraid to do means that you can do anything. I chose skydiving as my activity for this exercise. I had led a pretty conservative lifestyle, keeping risks to a bare minimum, and so I had never done anything so daring before. Some risks, I soon learned, are worth it. To gain more confidence in myself, I built in this belief. As I jump out of an airplane and hurtle to the ground at rapid speeds, I will be stepping far outside my comfort zone, and by proving to myself that I can do things I wasn't quite sure I could do, means that I can do anything in this world. For me, skydiving demonstrated that anything is possible for me. When you do your activity, you'll realize that anything is possible for you. Your example can be whatever you want it to be, as long as it is a big stretch outside your comfort zone. It could be marching into your boss's office and asking for a raise, speaking in public, or running a marathon. The most important part is that when you make it happen, you realize that anything is possible for you when you set your mind to it. When you've decided on what you're going to do, take immediate action to ensure that it will happen. Get things in motion as soon as you can. Taking immediate action is an excellent habit to develop. The most successful, unstoppably confident people take immediate action and accordingly manifest their dreams sooner. To anyone who is very logical or critically oriented, the belief that, since I can skydive, I can do anything, is not very logical at all. Yet, holding the belief that you can do anything will enable you to go for much, much more than those who have limited themselves with logic. You may not be able to do anything, but you will definitely go past your old limits. Remember, what seems like a limit is very often just a limit in belief, not reality. When you choose your new beliefs, choose them because they are useful and empowering, not based on so-called logic. Choose your new beliefs because they will help you live your dreams. The domino effect. 1. Choose an activity that is far outside your comfort zone. 2. Realize that in doing that activity, you make it possible to do anything you choose to do. 3. Follow through on this activity as quickly as possible. 4. Hold on to the new belief that you can make anything happen. Technique 13. Borrow confidence. A great way to gain confidence is to model yourself after someone else who already has a lot of confidence. Anyone who has an absolute belief in himself or herself will make a good model for you. One way to supercharge your results using this technique is to repeat it, using several different people as your models of unstoppable confidence. Once you've identified the person who embodies confidence to you, get to know as thoroughly as possible how this person moves through the world. To do this, spend as much time as you can with the person and talk about his or her opinions on confidence, life, and taking action. If your model of confidence is not accessible to you, perhaps you can get to know the person vicariously by purchasing his or her books, CDs, or home study courses, or by attending a seminar. If it's a rock star, you could go to his or her concert. If it's a star athlete, perhaps you could attend his or her sporting event. The idea here is to expose your mind to this person as much as possible. The better grasp you have on your model's beliefs, attitudes, and values, the more effectively you can model his or her confidence. Set a strong outcome for this exercise, such as, I want confidence like, name of your model of confidence, for these reasons. List the reasons. By the time you reach this point, you have already familiarized yourself with your model of confidence and have a good grasp on his or her perceptions of the world, the self, and what he or she does. Close your eyes and envision your model of confidence behaving in an unstoppably confident way in a movie on your mental screen. Pay close attention to how the person speaks, moves, gestures, and walks. Become aware of how this person interacts with others. Imagine his or her internal self-talk, and notice anything else you can about the person. Make the movie big, bright, and close. Turn the sound up all the way so it resonates in you. Next, step into the movie as if you are stepping into your confidence model's body. Take on this person's entire being. See as though you are seeing through your confidence model's eyes, hear with his or her ears, and feel what it is like to completely immerse yourself and be as unstoppably confident as this person. While you are inside your confidence model's shoes, physically do all you can to be like this person. Gesture, speak, move, and use the same facial expressions your model does. Continue doing this until you fully understand what it feels like to have your model's unstoppable confidence. If it helps, imagine yourself as this person in different contexts. When you fully have that feeling down, see yourself stepping outside of the person's body and back into yours. As you float back into your own body, take with you that unstoppably confident feeling you've just created. Integrate that feeling into your body, your mind, and your identity. By having your model's confidence once, you can have it anytime you want, simply by doing this exercise. Borrow confidence. 1. Find someone whose confidence you'd like to have for yourself. 2. Expose yourself to that model of confidence as much as possible. 3. Watch your role model behaving confidently on your mental movie screen. Notice how this person moves through the world, how he or she speaks and gestures. 4. Make the image really compelling by turning up the visual, auditory, and sensory qualities. 5. Step into the movie and become the model. Gesture, speak, and move through the world as this person does with this unstoppable confidence. 6. Step into the model in 5 different contexts. 7. When you feel you have a handle on this person's confidence, step outside the model's body and take his or her confidence back with you. Technique 14. Schedule your dreams. Successful people plan their work and then work their plan. This technique will help you decide on what you want and focus your energy toward pursuing it. Goals are dreams with deadlines. For that reason, this technique gives you some specific deadlines for achieving your dreams. What I want you to do is imagine yourself 5 years in the future, living your ideal lifestyle. What sort of job do you have? What have you accomplished? Where do you live? What is your lifestyle like? Focus in on the answers to these questions. Once you have the answers, build what I call an expanded resume. A typical resume charts what you have accomplished and the skills you possess now. The expanded resume encompasses your entire life, your family life, your career, your social circle, your spirituality, your finances, and so on. Create an expanded resume that will be true for you in 5 years. Reread this resume once a week, or more often if you can invest the time, and in 5 years' time, you will have accomplished much, if not all, of what you put down. A similar technique for channeling your energy into the direction you want is to construct a future magazine cover with yourself on it. The magazine could be either real or fictitious, but it should show you succeeding in whatever area of life you choose. When I did this, I used computer presentation software to import my photograph, design the magazine cover, and insert catchy headlines that described what I would achieve. When the cover was finished, I printed it out and proudly displayed it on my desk. From time to time, I still glance over at my desk to find it there, and I automatically become more motivated to take action and move toward my goals. Schedule your dreams. The expanded resume. 1. Imagine where you'd like to be 5 years from now. 2. Write down the details: family, work, leisure time, friends, and so on. 3. Review this expanded resume at least once a week. Your future magazine cover. 1. Create a real or imagined magazine cover with yourself on it succeeding in some area of your life. 2. Use catchy headlines and images to describe what you want to achieve. 3. Review your magazine cover periodically to keep you motivated in reaching your goals.